Don't say a word. They are watching your every move. We have to be careful.
"There's a sniper," she said, yanking his tie close enough to steal his breath. "Your driver sold you out, and if you look up, you won't make it out alive." The words hit harder than any strike ever had. The Korean Mafia boss had walked through rooms filled with men who feared him, rooms where silence bent to his will. But this moment was different. A waitress had crossed a line no one else dared to touch. Her hand was tight on his tie, not shaking, not unsure. Her eyes were steady, dark, and full of something he had not seen in years. Truth. The restaurant glowed with warm light. Polished tables reflected soft gold. Plates clinked. Laughter drifted from couples who had no idea how close death had come to sharing their meal. The smell of roasted meat and wine filled the air, thick and rich. It was the kind of place where power liked to sit and feel safe. The boss froze where he stood. She leaned in as if fixing his collar, her voice calm, almost gentle, but sharp enough to cut. "Don't move your head. Don't look at the windows. Breathe slow." Her grip tightened once, a warning, then loosened. She stepped back into her role, lifting her tray, already turning away. To anyone watching, it looked like a waitress correcting a mistake. To him, it felt like standing on the edge of a cliff. He did not sit. He watched her reflection in the glass wall as she walked away, moving smooth and steady, her shoulders relaxed like nothing had happened. That calm told him everything. Fear would have made her rush. Fear would have made her slip. This woman had learned not to fear. Within seconds, his bodyguards sensed the change. They knew his stillness. They knew the way his eyes had gone empty. One by one, they shifted, slow and casual, blocking angles without drawing attention. Still, no one looked toward the windows. The boss lifted his glass, pretending to sip. His hand was steady, but his mind raced. A sniper meant planning, a clean line. "Inside help. Your driver sold you out." The words echoed again and again. Outside, his driver waited by the car, engine off, eyes on his phone. 8 years of loyalty, 8 years of trust, family protected, debts paid. The kind of man you stopped questioning. Betrayal tasted bitter, like metal on the tongue. Across the room, the waitress poured water for a table of 4. Her wrist showed for a moment as her sleeve slipped. Thin scars crossed her skin, pale and old. Not kitchen burns, not accidents. Restraints. Her story did not begin tonight. Years ago she had stood in a narrow room with no windows. The air had smelled of damp concrete and sweat. A single light buzzed overhead, never fully bright, never fully dark. She had been younger, thinner, her hands bound tight enough to numb her fingers. She had been in the wrong place at the wrong time. She had seen faces she was not meant to see, heard plans she was not meant to hear. Silence had been bought with pain. She learned fast. She learned how to control her breath, so panic did not give her away. She learned how to listen without reacting. She learned that power liked to believe it was unseen, that powerful men stopped watching those they believed beneath them. There had been one man who spoke to her once, not with kindness, but with cold truth. He told her that survival was about timing, about knowing when to stay still and when to move, about understanding how rooms worked and where danger hid. She escaped years later with nothing but scars and lessons. She took jobs where she blended in. Late nights, busy floors, places where rich men relaxed and forgot to look twice at the help. She watched, she listened, she mapped habits and exits without meaning to, because once you learn how to survive, your mind never forgets. Tonight, she saw the signs before anyone else did. The man by the window who ordered nothing, the faint reflection where there should have been none, the way the boss's driver lingered long before pulling away. She had seconds to choose, walk away and live, or act and maybe die. She chose to act, back in the present. The boss lowered his glass. His jaw tightened, but he did not move his head. He spoke into his cuff, voice low and calm, telling his men to change the plan. The waitress passed again, closer this time. As she did, a napkin slipped from her tray and landed near his foot. He did not bend to pick it up. One of his guards did. On the napkin was a single word written in clean, careful letters. Now. The tension snapped. The boss stood. Chairs scraped. A hush rippled through the room as people sensed something was wrong. His guards moved faster now, blocking lines, stepping between tables. A woman gasped. Someone laughed nervously, unsure if it was a joke. The shot came an instant later. tearing through glass instead of flesh. Panic erupted. People screamed and ducked. Plates shattered. Wine spilled like dark stains across white cloth. Fear finally found its voice. The boss was already moving. The waitress appeared at his side, not screaming, not hesitating. She grabbed his arm and pulled him behind a thick marble pillar, her body placed between him and the danger without thought. "Stay down," she said, voice firm. Another shot struck stone, sparks flying. His guards reacted, shielding, shouting orders, moving the room toward exits. The chaos grew loud, but inside the boss's head, there was only focus. She knew the angles, she knew the timing. She had saved his life. She tugged his sleeve once, sharp and clear. "Follow me." He did. They moved through the service door, into heat and noise and steam. The kitchen smelled of oil and spices. Cooks froze, eyes wide. She did not slow. She weaved through narrow halls, past stacked crates and metal doors, choosing paths without looking. Outside, night air slammed into them, cold and sharp. Lights flashed in the distance. People shouted. Cars screeched. She stopped under a flickering lamp and turned to face him. Up close, he saw the exhaustion behind her calm. The weight carried quietly. "Your driver is gone," she said. "He won't wait around." The boss nodded once. He believed her without question. He studied her face, the strength in her eyes. He asked why. She answered without anger. "Because no one helped me when they could have. Because power should not decide who lives quietly and who disappears. Because sometimes the person who saves you is the one you never bothered to see." The words struck deep. Later, the truth unraveled fast. The driver was caught before he crossed the city line. Names followed. Plans exposed. The sniper taken alive. The trap laid bare. The boss survived. But survival was not the only thing that changed. He called for her days later, not with threats, not with fear. He offered protection, money, a position far from carrying trays and watching danger from the edges. She listened, then she shook her head. "I don't want a better cage," she said softly. "I want a life where I don't have to watch corners for men like you. Respect isn't a reward, it's a choice." He let her walk away. Weeks passed. The restaurant replaced its glass. Life moved on, but stories spread quietly, not of fear, but of a night when a waitress pulled a king from the path of death and refused to kneel. Some said she was reckless. Others said she was brave. She found work somewhere quieter, somewhere honest. She slept easier. She breathed deeper. And when people asked her how she stayed so calm, she smiled and said that calm was learned the hard way, because survival does not always shout, because the strongest warnings are sometimes whispered. If this story stayed with you, comment where you're watching from and what moment hit you the hardest. Share your thoughts on quiet courage and unseen strength. Subscribe for more stories that honor the heroes the world almost misses.